So, good morning to all and welcome back. We are going to start your practical number 2, that is dynamic memory allocation, and we are going to see the usage of malloc, calloc, and free function. In addition to all these three, we are also will just have a look at realloc also, though you don't have to implement it, but as it is a part of a DMA and it is quite a useful one, so we are going to see that too. Okay, so let's start with the session. Once you see the screen, please do let me know. Okay. All right, screen is visible. Okay. I hope it is the same for the rest of the students also. Okay. See, this is the targeted practical for today. Introduction to your dynamic memory allocation, DMA functions, that is malloc, calloc, and free. Okay, that is what we are going to see. Now let's start our discussion. Okay. See, we know that there are various kinds of data types. Okay, we had already seen that in our chapter number 1, that there are various kinds of data types, and when these data types are used, then some memory is allocated to them. For example, if I take integer roll number, okay, then when this part of the line where you have declared the variable, that part is getting executed. So you can logically view that roll number variable has been assigned in total 2 bytes of a memory block. Okay, if it is an older compiler. If it is a modern compiler, then it will assign 4 byte. All right, let's take another data type as float. Okay, float percentage. So when this particular line is getting executed from your program, then total 4 byte of percentage variable is reserved in your memory. Okay, for the variable percentage. So whenever you are accessing any of the variables, roll number or percentage or any double type, okay, then whatever value you are giving or manipulating, okay, that particular value is stored here in the memory blocks. Okay, so then we come to one step ahead, and we are going to array. Okay, so your array memory allocation is something like this. You are going to declare an array like integer roll number, and inside your square bracket you will write the size, right? So size will be 10. So when this particular line is getting executed in the in your program, then exactly 10 blocks, each of 2 or 4 bytes. If it is an older compiler, it will be 2 bytes of for one block. If it is a modern compiler, it will be 4 bytes. So in total, you can say that 20 or 40 bytes of memory got reserved for your array roll number, okay, with size 10. But this is static memory allocation. Why? Because you are directly giving here, if you can see, you are directly giving here the size. Also, there are some problems, okay, in this kind of a static memory allocation, there is a problem. All right. So what are those problems? Let us see. Let me take an example here. This is my example program. Okay. What I'm doing is this program is storing the information of roll numbers of the students. Okay. Let's take one real-time example. Let's say I'm opening up a small school of myself. Okay, I'm just starting a school. I don't have any branches. It is my own venture, and that is what I'm going to open up. So you guys are my programmer. Okay, I don't know any programming part, but because I want to make my school high tech, I'm going to approach you all. You all are a one team. Okay, so I am going to tell you that my problem is I want a system where I can store roll numbers of my student. So obviously you are going to ask me that, madam, what is the strength of the students? So I'll inform again that see, I am starting the school for the very first time, so I don't know how many admissions are going to be there. So keep it like 10 to 15, in between 10 to 15. I am not expecting much number of students. Okay, so what you go and do, you have created this particular program, which you can see on the screen. So in your array, you have taken one array, okay, of roll number, and because I told you that keep it between 10 and 15, so you went and took size 10. Okay, so integer roll number 10 and two variables n and I. Okay, then you are, for the ease of myself, you are putting a printf statement that enter the number of students. All right, for which you want to enter the roll numbers. So I am going to enter the number of students, right? And there is a scanner which is going to scan that number, and using that number you are going to run your for loop. Okay, and whatever number I have entered, let's say 7 or 8, then 8 times this loop is going to run, retrieving the roll numbers from me. Okay, so that is what this program is doing. Now let's see, when I run this program. Okay, this highlighted part is the explanation which I gave you just now. Okay, you are taking an array roll number of integer type and size is 10. Okay, so when this program is executed, you can see a memory block is reserved. Memory blocks are reserved, and it is 10, because size I've given 10, so 10 memory blocks. If you can count, it will be 10. Okay, now what will be the output? I'll be prompted that you enter the number of students. Let's say I entered 3. Okay, so this for loop, this particular for loop is going to run 3 times, retrieving 3 roll numbers from me. Okay, so 10, 15 and 18. So that is what I entered in the output screen. So in my memory, 10, 15 and 18 are going to get stored. Okay, so now what about these 7 memory blocks? These 7 are actually the wastage of your memory, because I don't need those 7, but still it is reserved here. The number of students, the admission which I got was 3. So I entered their roll numbers here. Okay, but the rest of the 7 blocks are wasted because there are no students, and still it is reserving my memory. So that is one point, that in your static memory allocation, there are chances of memory getting wasted. Okay, so point number 1. Let's take a reverse scenario. Okay, let's say that out of my expectation, my school flourished. Okay, and now more number of students than expected came and took the admission. Okay, so the number of students now is 60. Right, now if you can see, the memory block is reserved for only 10, so it can ideally take only 10 members or say 10 rule numbers, 10 values only, then what about the rest of the 50? Shortage of the memory, correct? So second issue is with the static memory is that when a situation arises where you have to, go and increase your memory, then that is not exactly possible in your static allocation, static memory allocation. You have to go back here in your program, and the where you have initialized things, there you have to go back again. You have to reinitialize the size and all, and then you can go and program ahead. So to overcome these two, these two disadvantages of your static memory allocation, okay, we are moving towards your dynamic memory allocation. Why? Because you cannot change the size of the allocated memory in your static memory allocation. So we are going to move to your dynamic memory allocation. And what is there in your dynamic memory allocation? Total 4 functions: malloc, calloc, realloc, and free. Okay, and for dynamic memory allocation, the library, or you can say the header file, which you have to include each and every time in your program, is stdlib.h. Okay, standard library.h. So what is your malloc? We'll target first malloc. Okay, the malloc is the function used to allocate memory blocks at runtime. That means your malloc is going to assign one full memory block. See, please make a note here. The malloc is going to assign one full memory block at runtime. Okay, you'll understand why I am putting so much of weight in one full memory block. I'll let you know. The header file which you have to include in your program is hash include stdlib.h. Okay, and the syntax for your malloc is something like this. PTR is your pointer. Okay, then you are going to write PTR type star. Alright, malloc, and inside the malloc bracket you are going to write the size in byte. Okay, for which for like the amount of memory you want to reserve. All right, so that size you are going to write in between the parentheses in byte form. Now can anyone tell me why we are writing PTR type, this red color, if you can observe, PTR type star, why we are writing it here in front of malloc? Does anybody know that? Take a guess, no problem. No guesses also? I'm not expecting any right answers or any it is, and also it is not a very tough question. Logical question it is. Why we are writing PTR type star in front of malloc? Shri,
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
any idea?
Ma'am, it defines the data type.
Nearby. You are near.
Pardon me.
You are near to the answer.
Oh,
Not exactly the answer, but you are near.
it defines the data type so that it can allocate the memory.
Um, no, it defines the data type that particular portion is right. Memory allocation is done by malloc.
ma'am.
Ma'am, maybe it defines the data type, so according to which the memory allocation should be done.
No, defining the data type you are getting right again. It does define the data type. But for whom? Okay. See, when this line you are using ptr equal to ptr type star malloc size in byte. When you are using this line to allocate the memory, what exactly how it is getting executed? First, it is going to identify the malloc part. Okay, so malloc, let's say the size you have given is 3. Okay, so 3 byte of memory block allocated, but now you have to access this memory block, so there will be one pointer, okay, which is going to be pointing at the memory allocated by this malloc, but the type of that pointer is void. Okay, the pointer which is pointing to the memory block which you have reserved using malloc, the type of that pointer is void. Okay, and we have to typecast that pointer. We have to typecast that pointer from void to the data type for which we are storing here the data. Okay, so that's why we are going to typecast it with the data type of this ptr. So if this ptr is of integer type, okay, so integer star ptr, then you are going to write here integer star. If this ptr is float star ptr, then you are going to write here float star. So the reason for writing this red color ptr type star is that we are typecasting. What we are typecasting? The void pointer which is returned by this malloc. And what is that void pointer doing? That void pointer is going to point to the memory of that block which is assigned, or we say allocated by this malloc. Okay, got it? Or should I repeat?
Once more, ma'am.
Clear to everybody? Okay. When this line ptr equal to ptr type star malloc size in byte, when you are using the syntax actually in your program, then your compiler first of all is going to execute this part, malloc size in byte part. Okay, so whatever size you have given, that amount of memory is reserved. Now that reserved block is pointed by one pointer. All right, and that pointer is of type void, so we have to typecast that pointer. Why? Because we want to store that memory address here in ptr. So we are going to typecast the void pointer returned by this malloc to the data type of this ptr, and to do that we are doing this typecasting. This red color ptr type star is actually typecasting of the void pointer returned by this malloc, and that void pointer is pointing to the memory address of this memory block. Okay, see, this is the reason malloc is going to return the pointer type void. Okay, that has to be typecasted, so that's why we are using here ptr type star. Okay, and this ptr type is nothing but the data type of this ptr. All right, now okay,
Yes, ma'am.
fine. I hope everybody is clear on this part, because this might get you somewhere, that in either in competitive question or in MCQ type or in one liner type, that why are we typecasting before malloc or calloc. So this is the reason. So you should be very much clear with that. Okay. So let me take one example here to get you through malloc. Okay. Let's say I'm taking same that previous school example only. Let's say that I have an integer roll number array of size 6. Okay. And I have declared one pointer also of integer type. Right. Now what I'm doing, I'm going to write that malloc syntax. So ptr is equals to, this is for your understanding, okay? This is not how you are going to write. This is for your understanding only. Malloc, first we are mentioning here malloc. Size we are giving here as 6, okay? And the data type of my pointer is integer. So in front I'm going to write integer star. So when you are writing the program, you are not going to write like this, malloc, then 6, then integer star. You are writing it as ptr equal to integer star malloc 6. Okay, that is how you are going to write. Now, if you can see, the size of roll number is 6 and malloc size, which is mentioned, is also 6. So you might think that, okay, same amount of memory is going to be allocated, but that is not true. Why? The reason is, when this part of line is executed, then in the memory total 6 blocks of 2 byte each are getting allocated. So you can say that total 6 twos are 12 byte of memory block is reserved when integer array roll number of size 6 is getting executed or compiled. Okay. But when malloc 6 is getting compiled, okay, then a 6 byte of a memory block is getting, executed. So you can say 3 blocks are getting executed. So malloc 6 and roll number 6 are not integer roll number. I mean the array of size 6 are not same. All right. So what to do if you want to make both of them same? If you want that integer roll number 6 and malloc should, reserve the same kind of, or say same amount of memory, then what you should do? Think, students, and answer what you should do. Okay, let me help you. In malloc, what changes you should do in order to get the same kind of a memory assigned as roll number?
malloc 12
Yes, Raj?
malloc 12 करेंगे मैम
Exactly. We are going to change from 6 to 12. Okay. So this 6 byte, we are, going to change it to 12 byte. Okay. So when we do that, then we can say that, okay, roll number of integer array of array roll number of size 6 and malloc 12 is going to assign the same kind of memory as your roll number 6. Okay, so 12 byte gets allocated. Fine. Now still there is a problem. The problem is, still you are, defining the size in a static manner. For example, malloc 12. Here, malloc 12 you are assigning. Okay. So here you can say that it is 12 byte because we are considering our, 2 bytes of each memory block. But what if it is 4 byte? Then it will be how many bytes here? 24. If the memory block, right now the memory block, each memory block is of size
2 bytes, ma'am.
Darshan, you said about 2 bits, right? Actually, it is bytes, first of all. And it is true in the case of older machines. But in modern machines, it is going to take 4 bytes. Okay, so the memory block, which is reserved by array roll number six, it will be 24 in that case. Okay, so again, it is though using dynamic memory allocation malloc function, it is still in static form. Okay, so we are now going to move forward and see that how you can manage these two aspects. First is, like, without concern, you are going to write a program, whether the program is going to run in your modern compiler or old compilers, your program is going to run correctly. That is one thing which we are going to see. And another thing, we are going to see that exactly how malloc is working. Okay, so see, look here, this is in this example, when malloc of malloc 12 is executed, then a memory block of 12 byte gets reserved. Okay, so you can say total 6 blocks got reserved, and each of them are having some kind of an address. For example, first block is at address 100, memory address. Okay, second is at 102, third is at 104, 6, 106, 108, and 110. Okay, so when malloc 12 gets executed, we know that it is going to return a pointer. Okay, point a void kind of a pointer pointing at the memory block. All right, so that pointer is going to point at address 100. All right, so when you are going and inserting the values after this line ptr equal to integer star malloc 12, after you're applying a for loop and entering the values, then those values will be entered from 100 to 110. Why? Because your pointer of that malloc is pointing here at memory address of 100. Okay, let's take an example of malloc running. This is a programmatical example where I have taken integer I and integer type pointer ptr. Okay, and I am mentioning ptr equal to integer star malloc 12. So in my memory, 6 blocks got reserved, and my pointer of malloc, that is my ptr, is pointing at the first memory address of my block. Okay, so that is 100. Now I'm applying a for loop. Okay, that for loop is going to run 6 times because I is less than 6. That is, I have mentioned directly. Okay, I'm taking the values. So total 6 values will be taken up. All right, and I'm going to print those values. So again, a for loop is going to be taken. Yeah, one more thing here, ptr plus I is mentioned. If it was in case of array, you must have written it as arr of I. But here we are going to mention pointer. Okay, and with the help of the pointer, we are going to scan the elements and enter those elements here one by one. Okay, so my output will be something like this. This is what I am going to enter. 6 values: 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. And if I want to display those values, then again I'm going to run a for loop. Okay, and I'm going to display it using star ptr plus I. All right, so output will be the same. Okay, now what I want you guys to do is note down this example. This example I'm keeping it for you here, and I'm giving you let's say 4 minutes. It is 10:11. I'll give you time till 10:15. In your consoles or say IDEs, whatever you are using, if it is an online compiler, then there, write this program and execute this program. I'm keeping the screen on for you. If you have understood it, then you can write it without even looking. But if you feel that you need to see one or twice, then I'm keeping the screen for you. Write this program in your consoles or IDEs and run the program. Output is also shown to you, what you should be giving your output as. So you can verify after running the program also. And if you have any doubt, you are free to ask, okay? If anybody has finished running also, they can show me. Okay, anybody done? Yes, students? Finished? Okay. I thought it's a small program, so I don't think 5 minutes, more than any 5 minutes, you would be taking up. Because you just have to see and write. Okay. Yasin, you are getting the output? You're not getting the output. Okay. Share your screen.
Is it visible?
Yes, yes, it's visible. Run your compiler. What error is it showing? Do one thing, copy the code and reload this online compiler. You are getting 000 and it is returning 6 zeros. Okay. Uh, Instead of integer main, write void main and remove that return 0.
अब इसका pointer minus integer star किया है.
Yeah. Yes. Uh, Yasin, wait. Pointers after in your line number 7. Instead of minus, do it equal to.
Minus?
You have written PTR. Is it equal to or is it minus?
No, it's
PTR equal to.
equal.
Okay, it is showing as if it is a minus sign.
No, it's equal.
Okay, and now execute the program.
Same output.
Still nothing. Integer I, you have given the pointer PTR equal to. Integer star malloc 12. Okay. Scanf is also right. For I is equals to 0, I less than 6, and I plus plus. Okay, let's see what Shri has done, if Shri is getting, because even I am getting the answer, and
Ma'am, everything you show, everything is right. I wrote the code same, but why I'm not getting the output? There's no error.
yeah, that's what I'm trying to figuring out, because in my ID it is working, and from my ID only I have kept the screenshot of the output.
First, I did not write the header file when I knew there was an error, but when I included the header file, still nothing.
मैम पीटीआर इक्वल टू INT स्टार होगा ना, वो पीटीआर माइनस लिखा है
Uh,
शायद.
no, Pranjal, he has done PTR equal to, but on our screens we are looking, when we are going and looking at it, it seems like it is minus. I
Okay.
confirmed that, and Yasin has told me that in line number 7 it is PTR equal to. Okay, Shri, do and Yasin,
I'm also
just
getting an
stop your.
error, ma'am, in function main.
Shri, let me see your part. Let us see what Shri has
Okay.
done, because in my ID also it is working.
Ma'am, is it visible?
Yes, it is getting loaded. Just a minute, okay? My network is a bit weak. Yes, it is visible. Run the program. Okay, guys, it is okay, got it. It is going to work, because you directly have to start writing it. Yasin, do one thing. In your previous GDB online compiler only, uh, run the program and start writing and give an enter.
तो मेरे में कंटिन्यूअसली रन ही होता जा रहा है लिखने के बाद भी.
राज दिखाओ.
यस मैम.
Are you
देखा मैम.
presenting? No, it is black screen for me. Anybody else can see? Yeah, now it is visible. Wait. You are doing pointer plus 1? Is it pointer
आई है.
plus 1?
आई.
Okay. Run the program.
मैम बस होता जा रहा है. वैल्यू डालो फिर भी.
राज, मुझे तो नहीं दिख रहा है ऐसा कुछ भी.
अच्छा मैम एक मिनट. मैम अब दिख रहा है?
हाँ अभी एंटर करो नंबर 1 2 3 4 5 6. हाँ एंटर.
समझाता ही
ओके. 3 4. Wait. 1 2 3 4 5. Do one more. Give one more number.
ओके हाँ.
Got it? Actually,
Yes, ma'am.
the problem is we have not mentioned the printf statement in your first for loop. So we are not able to figure out that whether the program is running or not. That is the issue. Okay. So what you can do is modify this program and in for loop write one printf statement, enter the number. Everybody do that.
Ma'am, in first for loop.
Yes, in first for loop. Raj, you forgot semicolon.
Oh yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Now you got it?
Yes, ma'am.
All
Thank
right.
you.
All right. Rest of the people, I hope the problem will be solved for you also. Yasin, I want update from you too. Let me run in my console. Yes. Okay. Yeah, it's working. Okay. Anybody else is facing some issues still?
Ma'am,
Yes.
ma'am, I had to enter the value 4 times, and then after that, my program got executed.
Can you show me the screen? Then I can help you a bit more. You are entering the number 1 2 3 4 times. Previously, you must have entered 1 2 3 4. Scroll your output window.
Oh, okay, yeah. Okay. But ma'am, why not only one time it's asking? It's asking like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 times.
Because it is going to run, the loop is going to run for the sixth time. You are given I less than 6. So that is going to ask you for 6 times that to enter the number.
Okay, thank you. Got it.
Okay. Fine. So I hope everybody was able to do it. Apart from the students whose screen I have not yet asked to share. Those students are or
It's
Darsh,
working fine.
Arjun, Dharmik, Dhruvi, Divyajit, Harshvardhan. I hope it is working for you people. Tanmay, Vijay. Okay. So I suppose we can move forward with it. I'm presenting my screen again. See now, I am going to ask you to, I mean, like we are going to see that if you can observe, we are still giving size in numbers directly, right? We are not asking it from the user, or say we are not processing the size given by the user. We as a programmer, we are directly writing the size, that is 12. So the next part is about giving the size in, from the user, and how we are going to process that size in malloc. Okay. So this is till this part we have seen. Now what you have to do is, in the next part, I'm going to again ask you to write the program. Okay. So keep the window, if you are using the online compiler, keep the window where you have executed this particular program, the program which is on your screen. Keep that as it is. Don't go and do modification in that program. And afterwards, you are coming up and telling me that, madam, we did the modification in the same program only. I don't want that. Keep that program as it is. If you are using online compiler, go for a second window, and again you have to write the code. All right. And if you are using the IDE or the software, then go and create one more file, and then you are going to work on that another file. Okay. So let's see, any idea that if I want to, write here instead of 12, if I want to process the size given by the user, then how can I do it? Any hunch, any idea? Guesswork is also fine. Instead of 12, now what I want is, I want to take the size from the user, and that size I want to use it in malloc.
वेरिएबल दे देंगे फिर उसको स्कैनर से इनपुट लेंगे.
Yes, we are going to take a variable, correct. See, in this both the places, the highlighted places, we are statically right now writing the value, right? 12 and 6. Now instead of that, what we are going to do is, we are going to change it, and we are going to take the value from the user, that is n. Okay. So before you execute your malloc, you are going to ask the user to enter the required size, and that size you are going to scan and store it in a variable. I have taken variable n. Okay. So now in my malloc, instead of 12, what I'm going to do? N star 2. Why 2? Because the data type here is integer, and the size of integer I am taking it as 2, assuming it to be my old machine. Alright, so it will be n star 2, and this n is, I'm going to also replace here with the value 6. Why? Because this 6 was actually the number of elements, or you can say the size. Okay, and that size is now I'm going to take from the user. So instead of 6 here, I less than 6, I'm going to write I less than n in both the for loops. Okay, rest of the things remains same. So see, I'm taking the size from the user and I'm passing that size. So n star 2. 2 is the size of your data type, that is integer here. Alright. So when I run the program and I'm giving size as 4. Okay, so 4 2s are 8. Right. So 4 times the loop is going to run, reserving total 8 bytes of memory. Okay, one memory block of 2 byte and 4 memory blocks, so 4 2s are 8, and the pointer pointing at 210, that is the memory address of your malloc. Okay, and when I'm entering the values by scanning it from the user, so let's say I entered 4 values, 20, 34, 54 and 11. So those values are going to get stored in this memory block. Okay, sequentially 20, 34, 54, 11. And when the second for loop is getting executed, it is going to print those same numbers. Okay, now coming to your doubt part, Harshvardhan. Okay, can we take value from the user at the place of 12 in malloc? Yes, that is what I have explained you. In place of 12 and in place of 6, which was mentioned earlier in your program, what I'm writing, I'm taking the size from the user. The user entered size as 4. Okay, so that 4 I'm going to pass here. So it is n star 2, so 4 2s are 8. Right? And this n, for how many times the loop should run? N times. N is what? The size number. So 4 times. Right? So 4 values scanned, 4 values printed. Okay? Note down this program. Then I'll ask you what is the problem with the program is. There is one small problem. Note down this problem first in your second window. Okay, not in that same window. Don't do modification in the same window. It is 10:40. I'm giving you 2 minutes of time to do it. Why 2 minutes? Because you can copy paste the previous program in the second window and do the changes in second window. Okay, and changes are just 1, 2 and 3. Raj, you're getting the output also?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Anybody else? Anybody else finished? Okay, you both are getting the output?
Yes, ma'am. I am also getting.
Okay. What about Darshan? Raj and Parmar, both. Yes, Darshan? My both the students. Okay, I have Darshan Maniar also. I couldn't see your name. Darshan Maniar. Okay, no answer. Darshan Raj. Okay, both of them absent. Dhruvi? Okay, she also absent. Divyajit? Okay, present. Dhruvi is there. All right. Dhruvi, show your screen. Divyajit, kindly present your screen. You are using from? Take a picture and send me on my WhatsApp number. Jignesh? Jignesh Prasad. Okay, absent. Vijay? Okay, he also absent. See, students, by this I am filling up your attendance also. So if you are able to answer whichever way, mic or chat, please try to answer, okay? Because the students whom I called out and were not answering, currently they are absent. I'll take one more round of attendance in between. Let's see if you can answer at that time. Okay, so we were here, right? We discussed till this part. Now, do you think there is a small problem here? Because according to me, there is one small problem. Or I'm giving you a hint. Do you think it is going to work in each and every machine? Program is going to run in each, yes or no?
No, ma'am.
And Shri, according to you, why it won't work?
Because it runs in only, we can say, old version of compiler. In new version of compiler, it allocates four bit of integer.
Exactly. Good observation. That is what the problem is. We in malloc, we are mentioning n star 2. And that 2, we are assuming that integer type, that is the size of your integer, right? And that we are assuming it to be 2. So if we are running this program in your modern compiler, then there will be, the memory allocation will not be correct. Because in your modern compiler, it is going to take 4 bytes for your integer type, right? So to avoid this particular, confusion for the compiler, what we are going to do is, instead of n star 2, we are going to replace that with your size of function. All of you must be aware of your size of function, right? Your size of function, if you are not aware or if you are not able to recall, I'll help you. Your size of function is going to return the size of your data type mentioned. Okay? So instead of n star 2, so instead of your 2, you can write size of. Okay? And inside that size of, you are going to mention your data type. So the change is, if it is an older machine, it is going to take 2. If it is a new machine or say modern compiler, it is going to take 4. So our problem is solved, right? So what it is going to take, instead of n star 2, it will be now n star size of integer. Okay, so that now makes this full program a dynamic program. Why? Because we are taking the size from the user. That size is manipulated by your compiler using the size of function also. Okay, and then you are scanning and printing it. So what I want all of you to do is, in that second window itself, instead of n star 2, write n star size of integer or the data type of your pointer. modify that line of code in your second window. Okay, so now irrespective of your compiler or the machine, your program is going to run efficiently and correctly. Got it? Everybody till here? Any doubt in malloc? Okay. What about the rest of the people? Fine. So now we are coming to the calloc part. Okay. Now see, the calloc is also the function which is assigning the memory block at runtime. But what is the difference? Why calloc is existing when malloc is already there? The difference between the two is, the very first difference is, your malloc is assigning one memory block, one full memory block. Okay, so if you are mentioning the size as 12, then one full block of size 12 is assigned. But in the case of calloc, if you are giving calloc 12, then that means 12 bytes are definitely going to be allocated, no doubt in that. But the memory block will be multiple. Okay, so 2 byte here, 2 byte here, 2 byte here, like that. But in case of your malloc, it is one single block. Okay, here there are multiple memory blocks. So that is first function, first difference. One more difference is that your malloc does not initialize any of its memory blocks to 0. But this calloc, the calloc function, when multiple memory blocks are created at runtime for a given size, those blocks are initialized to 0 first. Okay, and then when you are entering some values to be stored, those values are getting you can say overwritten or updated instead of those zeros. Okay, so that is another difference between calloc and malloc. Okay, let's see, the header file remains same even for the calloc, include stdlib.h. Okay, the syntax changes here a bit. PTR typecasting is also there because again it is going, the calloc also is going to return a void type of pointer. Okay, so you need the typecasting part. But what changes, it is inside the parentheses. Instead of mentioning the size in byte directly as you are doing it in malloc, okay, you are giving here the size comma n. What is this n? N is the number of size you want to allocate, and size is the data type size. Okay, it is not into size, it is comma size. Okay, so that's why multiple blocks, because n is the amount of memory to be allocated. Okay, and size will be the data type size. Again, as I said, it is going, the calloc is going to return you a void type of a pointer, and that's why you need the typecasting of ptr type. Okay, so ptr type star calloc n comma size. Fine. Now see, let's see one example with the respect of malloc. Okay, in the previous example which we discussed, we had modified this n star 2 to n star size of integer. Okay, so when this line is getting executed, let's say the user gave n equal to 3. Okay, and it is coming to this part, highlighted part. Okay, so you can say that total 3 into 4 or 3 into 2. So either 6 or 12 byte of one full memory block is assigned by malloc. All right. But in the case of calloc, multiple memory blocks are assigned. So 3 into 2 bytes, 6 byte, definitely 6 byte even calloc is assigning. All right. But what is the nature of your memory block? It is multiple. It is not one full memory block. They are multiple memory blocks, and all these memory blocks are initialized to 0. Okay. It is not the case in malloc, but in case of calloc, the memory blocks are initialized to 0. The syntax also changes because in calloc we are giving n comma size of integer. Okay, so that is what the change is. Rest of the things remains same. Okay, in your third window, go and open third window, and in that copy paste the previous program, the program in your second window, and instead of malloc, do the changes of calloc. Divyajit, you have forgot to write the library for malloc and calloc. Don't forget to write, otherwise it won't run. In your program, write hash include stdlib.h. That is not written, and that's why the program is not running for you. Okay. Done, students? The calloc part? Running? Okay, Darshan. For the students who have answered me, yes, it is running for you correctly. All right. Okay, okay, do it, do it. I'm giving you 1 minute more. Any doubt in calloc till now? Okay, so I am now moving forward. Everybody done, right? Darshan? Darshan Raj? You said you were doing. So are you done?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So moving forward, this is the explanation which I had included for calloc. Okay, the size is mentioned by you, or say the user is giving. So that is n is for that, and we are taking the size of your data type. Here it is integer. Redeclaration of PTR with no linkage. Pranjul, can you share your screen? I need to see. Share your screen.
Ma'am, is it visible?
No, it is getting presented. Yeah, visible. Just a second, okay? Okay, you have, mentioned your integer star pointer twice. There is integer star pointer in line number 5 also. There is integer star pointer in line number 7 also.
Ma'am, I need to remove this.
Yes.
from line number 8 में भी इसका कैलॉग लिख के स्टार ही मारा है.
Yes, again, Pranjul, it won't be in calloc, it won't be n star, it will be n comma. That is what the syntax of your calloc is.
And this?
And size and of, there won't be space. It is a
Okay, sorry. Sorry. Yes, ma'am, talking now.
okay. Fine. Okay. So please be very careful. In your calloc, you are not mentioning star, you are mentioning n comma size of integer. Whereas in your malloc, it is n star size of integer. Okay. So now we are seeing a bit of realloc. Okay, and then we'll go for free function, which is your last function in this practical. We have finished with 2 functions of your DMA, that is calloc and malloc. Now pay attention here. You don't have to execute realloc. So just pay attention and get to know what realloc is. Let's say in a scenario that you have entered these 3 lines of code. Okay, and some memory block is getting assigned. Let's say n you have given as 5. Okay, so 5 into 2, so either 10 bytes, or 5 into 4, so either 20 bytes will be allocated by your calloc. Let's say 10 byte got allocated, okay, with pointer pointing at the first memory block. Now the same thing can be done in terms of your arrays also. Let's say I'm taking an array or of integer type a of n, and n I've given as 5. Okay, so that is also going to assign 10 bytes of your memory to your array A. Now here, because a of n, because it is an array, static memory allocation, you cannot increase or decrease the size runtime, right? You have to go and do it again. For an array, you have to either change the n value all right, or you have to just statically go and edit or override that n value. But in case of your DMA, if the user is storing only two values even after entering n equal to 5, then you can go and change that. That means you can free up the memory, okay, with the help of realloc. So let's say the user is storing only two values, okay, as it is mentioned in the question. The user is entering only two values, even though you have given the user privilege to enter 5 values, okay, and he himself has entered that privilege, okay, that I want to add 5 values. But then again, after entering that, he is just storing two values. So what about those 3? And because we are very good programmers, we are trying to be very good programmers, efficient programmers, we don't want memory wastage. So what we are doing, we are using realloc, okay, which cannot happen in the case of your arrays, okay, but it can be done in case of your dynamic memory allocation, okay. So with the help of realloc, you can resize the memory block which was previously assigned by your calloc from 10 to 4 bytes, okay, because user has entered or say stored only two values. So you can reallocate it, or even you can after entering 2, let's say the user again changed the mind, okay, and he is entering 2 more values, so 8 byte. So you can use the help of realloc, you can also change it to 8 byte also. And for that, what you have to do, the syntax of realloc is pointer comma the size which you want, okay. So it will be ptr. Ptr is what? This pointer, the pointer which I am encircling with the help of my arrow, this pointer, so that is ptr. And your modified size, let's say before it was 5, right? So 5 into 2, 10, but now I am storing only two values, okay. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to use realloc, and the size which I want is 4, all right. So that means 2 blocks only. So when you execute this, then out of that 10 bytes, only 4 byte will remain, okay. So the rest of, you can say, the rest of the 3 memory blocks got freed up, all right. You can also increase the size. If you don't want 4, you want 8, then in the realloc you can just simply write ptr comma 8, okay. So 8 byte of memory block will be reallocated, fine. So that is what your realloc function is used for. It is used for reallocation of your dynamic memory, all right. So that is what you should be knowing. You don't need to implement this, okay, but you should know what is realloc is for. Now coming to the part of freeing up the memory. Now see, by the time by this point of time, you have idea of malloc consuming some memory block, calloc also consuming some multiple memory blocks. Now we also need to free those memory blocks for our another processes, because we are not going to go on adding our memory, right? Or we are going to increase till one point, but after that we are not going to increase those memory, right? We can go from 2 GB to 4 GB, 4 GB to 6 GB, maybe 8 GB, but after that we are not going and increasing that. We are going to free up the memory. So in order to free up the memory, dynamic memory allocation has free function, okay. So that means once you are done with the operations, either printing, scanning, or any kind of insertion, deletion, any kind of operations, you are done with it, you should free up that memory so that you can use it in your another processes or another programs. And how you can do that? Using free function. And what is the syntax of your free function? The syntax of your free function is free, inside that the pointer, okay. Let's see, in your previous program, in your malloc program, let's say you are giving size as n equal to 5. Okay, so 5 twos are 10, so total 10 byte of memory is getting allocated by your malloc. Okay, with a pointer pointing at first memory block. Now you did all your operations. All right, scanning is done, insertion is done, deletion is done. So whatever needed operations are done on that malloc memory block. Now you don't need that memory block anymore. Fine. So what you are going to do with the help of your free function, you are going to free up that particular pointer memory. Now how you can free up that memory? With the help of this PTR pointer. This PTR pointer is pointing towards that memory block, right? So what you are going to write? Free in the bracket PTR. Once this line is executed by a compiler, it is going to free up the whole memory block. Okay, the memory block which is pointed by your pointer, it is going to free that up. All right, so now what I want you guys to do is, you have a malloc function. Till now you must have 3 windows with you. Okay, so 3 different kinds of program. 2 will be of malloc kind and 1 will be of calloc kind, right? Now what I want you to do is, in the 4th window, write a program with the help of a switch case. Case 1 keep malloc, case 2 keep calloc. Okay, and in case 2 only, or in case 1, whichever you feel free, you are free to do it, either in case 1 or case 2, use this free function. What you have to do in your 4th window, you have to create a switch case structure. Okay, in case 1, copy paste the program, or say the logic of your malloc. Okay, this n star size of integer. In case 2, copy the calloc logic which you have executed just before few minutes. All right, and in either of the case, whichever you are comfortable with, write a include a free function also. Okay, clear what you have to do in your 4th window? Any doubts? I'm giving you 5 minutes to do so. Take 5 to 7 minutes. You don't have to write full program. You just have to create the switch case structure. Create a simple switch case structure. Okay. Ask the user which function he or she wants to do, calloc or malloc. And in that 2 cases, just keep this logic. So that means from integer I of n, whatever you have written in between void main, that full thing you have to just copy paste it. So create that, and in either of the one, in either case 1 or in case 2, try to implement this free function. But before, also see to it that before freeing, you are printing that. Okay, don't directly just free up, otherwise you won't come to know. Once you are done, please do tell me. I would like to see the program. If you have any doubts, if you are facing any kind of an issue, please do let me know. I'll help you out. Students, if you have any doubts, then please don't hesitate. Done? Answers expected, yes or no, done? हेलो
ये पीटीआर कहाँ डालना है?
राज कम अगेन
फ्री पीटीआर
wherever you feel like, either malloc or calloc, in either of the case.
मतलब फॉर लूप के पहले या बाद में?
बाद में.
ओके मैम.
Okay, Shri, I would like to see your screen. Please present. What about others? Pranjul, Yasin, Dhruvi, Harshvardhan, Netik, Preet. Okay, Vijay, Tanmay. Shri, you can put your free function in either of the case. It is your choice. You can keep it in malloc also, you can keep it in calloc also. But after you have implemented your for loop for printing, after that, if in between you are placing your free function between your scan loop and printf loop, then you are not going to get the printf output because there is no memory available. So don't go and keep it between those two for loops. Keep it after your printf for loops. Okay, students, done? Anybody? Are you guys facing any problem, any confusion? Then you can let me know. Okay, Raj, where is the confusion? Can you present the screen? Let me help you.
Okay, ma'am. Visible, ma'am.
Okay. Yeah, you don't have to see, you don't have to pass pointer in your switch case. Do what I say. Okay.
Okay, ma'am.
And also the cases which you have mentioned are not correct in a way. Raj, do as I say now.
Yes,
All
ma'am.
right. After your line number 6, give one enter. Okay. Write one printf statement. Printf inside which function you want to execute. Which function you want to execute. All right, give slash n. Write one more printf statement. Number 1 dot malloc slash n 2 dot calloc.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay, now write one scanf statement after that. %d comma ampersand choice.
Choice.
Yes. Now declare that choice variable in that integer where you have declared integer I and end in your 5th line. Do a comma and write their choice. Now pass this, copy that choice, variable name choice. Copy it and pass it in your switch case where you have written switch PTR. So instead of PTR, write there, paste there. Okay, this much part is done. Now remove that scanf 11 on your 11th line. Remove that scanf. Okay.
Done.
Now come inside your switch case where you have written line number 13 where you have written case. Take your cursor there. Okay. Now there write 1 case space 1. Don't remove it.
1 minute. Don't remove it.
Don't remove it. उसे निकालो.
1.
हाँ. अभी 2 dots. Okay. Give one enter. One more enter. Okay. Now on your line number 14.
14.
Yeah. Write there scanf %d comma ampersand n semicolon.
Okay.
Okay, this is how
Yes, ma'am.
you are going to write your case 1. Then afterwards things are okay. Integer, no, wait, in your line number 15. Yeah.
Yes.
At the very first, you need to write ptr equal to integer star malloc. Okay. Then
Got it.
it's size of integer and remove this. No, fine. Then it is semicolon.
Oh, yes, ma'am.
Now your for loop, printf and scanf, again a for loop to printf. Yeah, inside this you have written free PTR. You are not writing inside that. Remove that free PTR from inside your for loop. Line number 23,
Yes.
Control X.
Done.
Okay. And yeah, there you are going to write free PTR. And give an enter. After line 26, give one enter. Right break. Semicolon. This is the correct syntax of your switch case. Do the changes in case number 2 in a similar way.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Fine. Now it is going to run if you do the changes correctly.
Wow. Which number? अच्छा, 4.
It
समझ
ran.
में नहीं आया, ma'am.
Yeah, because right now we have not given the statements. See, you are doing execute function. You give, we have not given their /n after malloc. So it is going to take your input where it is blinking. Give 1.
1.
Now you entered, right? Now we have not, and it is in your case number 1. Now case number 1, the first line is taking the user, taking the input from the user, but there is no printf statement that enter the size. So
Yes, ma'am.
as we know, so you enter the size, let's say 3. So it is going to ask you 3 times to enter the number. So 1, 2, and 3, and it
Yes.
displayed you 1, 2, 3. And it also freed up, but then again we are not going for a printing for loop. If you
Yes.
had gone for printing the for loop after your free function, then nothing would have printed. Right now it is printing 1, 2, 3, which is your given input, but after you have executed your free function and going for the loop, it won't be printing. Okay, so that is what it is happening. So you have to make some changes so that your user knows, or you know that what exactly is happening.
मैम वैसे ये 6 times अगर फ्री पीटीआर नहीं होता तो 6 बार एंटर
Free-
नंबर पूछता ना.
नहीं, 6 बार नहीं पूछता. आपने साइज उसको 3 दिया है तो वो 3 बार ही लूप घूमेगी. आपने अगर साइज 6 दी होती तो वो 6 बार घूमता.
मैम पिछले उसमें भी तो वही हो रहा था. इससे पहले वाले प्रोग्राम्स में भी अपन 4 लिख रहे थे तो 4 बार ही पूछ रहा था.
हाँ, तो यहाँ पे आपने 3 लिखा है तो वो 3 बार पूछ रहा है.
तो मैम फ्री पीटीआर ने क्या किया?
पीटीआर ने 6 साइज एलोकेट की है तो वो 6 बार नहीं पूछेगा. ब्लॉक तो 3 ही है.
ओके
3
मैम.
2 6 बाइट एलोकेट हुई है. 2 ब्लॉक्स फॉर 2 बाइट फॉर ईच ब्लॉक, है ना.
ओके मैम, मतलब हर बार जब भी मैलोक या कैलोक यूज करे तो नीचे फ्री पीटीआर लिख सकते हैं.
हाँ, ताकि आप मेमोरी फ्री कर दोगे. अभी देखो, फ्री पीटीआर के बाद अगर फिर से फॉर लूप अप्लाई करते हो प्रिंटिंग वाली तो कुछ आउटपुट नहीं आएगा. क्यों? क्योंकि वो मेमोरी ब्लॉक फ्री हो चुकी है. वहां पे कोई वैल्यू है ही नहीं उसके लिए प्रिंट करने के लिए. यू कैन ट्राई इट आउट इफ यू वांट.
ओके मैम. ओके मैम, थैंक यू.
ऑलराइट. केस 2 में चेंजेस कर लेना राज.
मैम कर दिया ना, तभी तो रन हुआ.
नहीं, प्रिंटफ के स्टेटमेंट्स. और केस 2 में अभी स्कैनफ तुमने नहीं लिया है, साइज नहीं ली है तुमने.
अच्छा हाँ मैं वो बाकी
स्कैनफ
है
का स्टेटमेंट बाकी है, तो देख लेना. जस्ट वेरीफाई इट विथ योर केस नंबर 1 and give necessary printf statements wherever it is needed. Okay, fine.
यस मैम थैंक यू
All right. Okay.
मीन अ लॉट
Okay, fine. Students, time for your attendance. TP1 students, write your numbers series wise. In series, students. Done? 28, okay. Okay, and from Yasin, from BD it is Yasin, I suppose. Okay, fine. Thank you all for attending this session. See you tomorrow.
आप 2 मिनट मैम फ्री हो क्या?